Hi, I'm Allison,
And I'm Taylor.
and together we're the Anxiety Chicks.
Each week, we will dive deep into a different topic about anxiety and the real life experiences we all go through.
While giving you all the top tools and tips you need for your journey to recovery.
Our degrees may say therapist and dietitian, but together we are just real chicks on our own healing journeys too.
Join us as we take you from panic to power and reduce the stigma of mental health. Remember, you're never alone and we're all in this together. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Anxiety Chicks podcast. I'm Allison Sepanera.
And I'm Taylor.
And I'm so excited to be back here with you today, Taylor. I don't know. I know we usually jump right in, but I do want to mention this, which I didn't tell you before the episode. I just want to talk a little bit about the snow and ask you how everything's going there, because here it's literally, I don't even know what it feels like. I don't remember a temperature being this cold for this long in my life. And just how's it going there in Texas?
Okay, so I didn't know you guys are having a snowstorm too.
Oh my gosh, it was across the whole entire basic southeastern US. Yeah, we got 13 inches.
Wait, are y'all snowed in too, or do y'all have where y'all prep and everything's?
Oh no, I will say we really have a really good working system here in the Philly area. I mean, they started the plow trucks hours before they even they salt the ground and stuff like that. I know you guys don't have really the infrastructure for it.
Oh, so you didn't have one day where everything shut down?
No, we did. We had
Okay.
Sunday and then Monday, basically stuff were shut down too. And it's still pretty bad. But
Allison, let me tell you something. We as a community have been shut down since Friday. People don't know what to do here. And I get it because I have summer tires, and my husband, I tried to follow him the other day. I was like, okay, I'm going to try and get out. This was actually literally yesterday morning, and I went to follow him. My brakes, I have had the most intrusive thoughts since this because my brakes locked and I went up a curb. I could not, it was straight ice.
Oh
That's
my
the issue
gosh.
about here is our neighborhoods, it's just ice. And all I could think about yesterday, the rest of the day, was if somebody was walking on that curb, I would have killed them.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
all I could think about. Intrusively, it just kept coming to my brain. I'm you could have killed somebody today. I had zero control of my car in that moment.
It's so funny because when you talk about that, automatically my intrusive thoughts have everything to do with the trauma I have about my dad falling. And so I always think about my mom, who lives 20 minutes from me, falling and getting to her car, and just people falling.
Yeah.
And I literally just check on so many different people. Now the thing is, so did you guys have do you guys have plow trucks and stuff? Or wait,
No.
what?
We don't have plow trucks. They salt, I think, the feeder and the highway, but they our neighborhoods, nobody's coming through those. And side roads and all that. Nobody's coming through. And nobody's plowing the highways okay, here's the thing too. You guys probably get legit snow. We got maybe I don't even know, maybe this, a couple inches of a sleet ice, which is just it keeps melting. We keep not getting above freezing, or we'll get above freezing for a second,
Right.
or cars will melt things, or the sun or something, and then it just refreezes.
Yes.
And
yes.
it is there are people on my street ice skating.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, ice skating. Had ice skates on, and we're ice. It's crazy.
So you guys can't actually take your car. You guys haven't driven.
So you just have to be it just depends. For the first Friday night is when it started. I would say Saturday, Sunday, nobody was driving.
Right.
Monday, if you could make it out of your neighborhood, but literally going out, you're risking it. And you're just going 2 miles an hour.
I mean, the thing is too, do they even sell snow stuff to clean? You probably on Amazon, I guess, snow shovels and snow scrapers, car scrapers and stuff.
Yeah, I saw some people today were shoveling their driveway and steps and stuff. But I mean, it's bad. If you don't know what you're doing, or you don't have the right tires, it's just not good.
I mean, honestly, I am so grateful that I bought a new car a couple years ago. For that, I was going back and forth about what kind of car to buy. I have grown up driving SUVs all my life, probably because of the same reason I bought mine. My parents always felt they were safer. and like four-wheel drive and all that stuff. And of course, like in our area, we have a season, we have a winter season, right? So we know, like we need specialized vehicles can be very helpful. So I knew that was like one of the things when I was buying I have a Tucson and they're like always drive Hyundais. I love Hyundais. So reliable. And it's like the best thing I ever did. I mean, my car, I have this like awesome sport drive, four-wheel drive thing. It has this like special de-icer thing. I don't know. I'm
Wow.
just like, this is the best investment because it was expensive. It was more expensive than some like nice cars. And I'm just like, this is the best thing. This is when I'm like, good job, Allie.
I'm assuming you probably also have all-terrain wheels or tires. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, I have
Um,
summer tires, so
yeah, no. I think that they basically around here are that's kind of like the default.
I would assume.
Yeah, I mean
Or
they're
if
pretty
someone has a
expensive.
sports car, they probably,
Yeah.
well, I guess if they have a sports car, they might even have another set of wheels. I bet some people have that. Like they switch
Yes.
their tires. Okay.
Yes. So we have like four-wheel drive and then two-wheel drive in a
Yeah.
lot of the cars. So the
Yeah.
sport utility drive now in the newer cars, it's like a sports drive instead of four-wheel drive, but we always had four-wheel drive. But oh my gosh, like and going out to like walk my dog, trying to find a place for her to sniff and poo and pee. I'm just like, and it's snow covered. And I'm just, oh, now she's fine because there's a million other dogs that have peed around. So now she finds her spot. But before, just like didn't know where she was going. And it takes no lie, it takes probably 5 to 10 minutes to bundle up at this point. So
Literally.
sometimes I'll go in somewhere and I just won't even take anything off if I'm there for 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
I'll just like,
No, seriously. I was like leaving the house looking like a marshmallow, and then you're like everything starts getting tighter the more you put layers on. I'm like, I need to buy like bigger outer
I know.
coats because I layer up underneath so much that then you're like this like tight like marshmallow. We are just not used to it.
Yes.
But at this rate, we keep getting every year one of these storms that we should
I
probably get the infrastructure. I don't know.
right. Yeah. So I
Shutting
don't know.
down a
So if
week is
anyone
crazy. Like kids have not gone to school.
no crazy.
Still,
Are they doing virtual though? Because my like niece and nephew are doing virtual. What? Why not?
I
That was
have
like a
no
total
idea.
COVID thing that they
No
started
idea.
doing virtual.
Yeah.
That's
Because I
weird.
think they were hoping to go back each day, but each day it keeps like we haven't had snow since Sunday, but it's
Okay.
just not, it keeps melting and refreezing. It's just this layer of ice. So I think they keep wanting to open each day and then they realize like we can't. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And no one
You
even
know,
knows what they're doing. Everybody's just like,
well, everyone's probably having this like response of how they have with COVID, like, get me
yes.
out of this house, get me out of this house. It's just like
I,
no one
I
wants to go
saw
back there.
I saw the funniest post on Facebook. This mom was like, Amazon is delivering, I'm delivering my kids. She was like, get them out of here.
I know. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I hope everybody's staying safe that's going through this. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm so sorry, but my lighting, I hate it right now. And I keep moving it and I just don't care. I'm like, whatever. Close your eyes or listen to the audio if it's annoying you because it's annoying me. So I'm just going to look at Taylor. But as long as you can see me. Also, you might notice I'm literally in my sweats and I have tea because I mean, think I'm getting a cold or something. I mean, and
Mhm.
that's probably all over the place too because everyone's stuck inside. No one can like open their windows or anything or get germs out. So, pardon my appearance today, y'all, but this is how we keep it real on the Anxiety Chicks. Okay, so let's jump into our topic. We talked about that enough and vented. So, okay, we're talking today about something that is kind of personal to me. And I wonder if people in my generation than yours, like the millennials and Gen X, feel anxious more about this because of like the messaging we received when we were little, or I don't know, you can tell me. But this anxiety around like financial stress and coping with money related worries. Do you have that? Let's start there. Do you have that? Like, I'm curious.
I this is going to sound bad, but like when my anxiety was so bad for like a long time, and I bet a lot of people listening to this will relate, you are so convinced there will be no future that you don't worry about those things. Is that not odd? Like you're so like I'm probably dying next week So why would I worry about that? Like, I'm not gonna be 70. There's nothing to worry about. So I feel like for the longest time I didn't, but the more like when I sit down with my husband and we talk about certain like he's very educated on all that stuff. So I think that takes that from my brain where
Yeah.
I feel like because he's so educated on it and I feel like he like has a passion for that, like investing and all that stuff that
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm in the dark about it and I should know more, but I feel like he has such a good grasp on it and like you're more for a long time you have been self-employed whereas
Yeah.
he has a 401k and they match it and like those are all the perks that a lot of people who are self-employed that is an added stress because you don't have a company matching your 401k, you don't
Mhm.
have those extra benefits. So yeah, that is stressful. I feel like being self-employed adds an extra layer where I feel like I don't have to worry about that. If it was just
Yep.
me, I probably would feel anxious about that.
When you struggle with any certain type of phobias or like health anxiety or something, money isn't, but that's not always true because there's a lot of people that can't actually get support or help with what they're going through when it comes to like mental health because of money.
Yeah.
So there's the financial stress on top of not being able to actually get treatment for things. So that's even more anxiety on top of, whatever other intrusive thoughts are going on. And so I think that's sort of kind of where what I'm thinking about as far as financial stress in that instance, but also it's all under the same umbrella, right? Because
Or
yes,
even or even like I remember when I was just so irrational, it was like going to the doctor, like I had to go and I had to go immediately. So then you're going to the ER, then you're going to a private ER.
yes,
You're not thinking about the bills and then next thing you know, you've spent like $20,000 in
yes.
medical fees that are going to catch you up and eat you up.
And there's just layers and layers of the stress and anxiety that comes on with trying to work through that.
You know where actually I'm feeling it? I feel like everything is so dang expensive nowadays. Like I feel like just making a like good salary isn't even enough. Like you go to do you ever just go
No.
to Target or like the grocery store and you
Yeah.
get like 6 things and it's like $9. And I'm just like I literally sit back sometimes and I'm like how do we even I don't even know how this is even making sense. Like I feel like we're set up to not even have a savings or be able to save anything because it just feels like anytime we do anything, everything's so expensive.
Well, and especially now, right? And
Yeah.
so, the messaging, so going back to kind of the messaging in my brain in my phase, which is like millennial Gen Xers, and I'm so curious about the messaging you received like within your household. And, the way I'm talking about this is pretty like there's so many different variations of socioeconomic status, right? For
Mhm.
people, our country is just so much. There's so many differences between socioeconomic status. So, food and shelter for some people are literally the only things that they want to can spend money on and have to, right? Like that's just another whole layer
A
to
lot of
this.
people.
And yeah, which is so sad. And you talking like us thinking about the expenses that we have, like it's such a privilege to have heat right now,
Mm.
right? You think about that. And there's just so much that we take for granted, I think. But then as you see like the bills pile up and bills pile up, you feel as though, there's nothing, you're almost like a house poor. I don't know if you ever heard that kind of term,
Yeah.
but you're living day to day and you're not really sure where you're going to get your next paycheck from or your next round of payment and what you have to do to pay off certain things. And
Mhm.
it's like groundhog's day for some people. And it seriously is so stressful because as a capitalist society, I mean, what do you see all over the TVs? All over, if you drive maybe a couple minutes or hours away, depending on where you are, you see beautiful mansion. I mean, there's people that are rich keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poorer. It is so hard. Anyway, we're not turning that into discussion. This is part of the anxiety, though, honestly, for me, because I think about that. I think about so much of, first of all, yes, I'm self employed. That was a choice. Not like it's not successful, but to even at this
Just the
point,
evolution of it too. Like it's
Oh,
always evolving. So you always have to switch. Like you can't just being
yes.
self-employed, you can't just be like, okay, this is a stream of income. That stream of
Yes.
income, I try and tell people this all the time. I'm like, that stream of income, it might sound good right now. It might not be that even a week from now, a month from now. Like people are so sometimes they think that self-employed and all of this is it's like, oh, so lucky and so grateful. Like, yes, we are, but it also has things where it's an added layer. We're talking about like the anxiety of it, it's an added layer of anxiety a lot because
Oh
going if
my
you clock
gosh.
in and clock out of a job, you know exactly what's happening. It's very steady,
Mhm.
it's very predictable, it's very nice to an anxious mind.
Mhm. 100%. So that's just, yeah, for anyone that's kind of like an entrepreneur or has those types of businesses that are, that are self employment, income, then you totally get that. That's a whole other layer of anxiety. But as far as like, as you grow up and the belief you have about money, though, right? There's a lot of different beliefs that people might have. So, certain people might have grown up, hearing their parents or having some arguments about money like all the time. Like maybe there's a lot of arguments about it, or you overhear it if your parents are like talking about it, or really you just didn't really know where it was, or if you had it, like you just didn't know. You just heard a lot of arguing about it. And maybe there was a lot of times you were saying, oh, we can't afford that. We can't afford that. We can't do that. Oh, no, we can't. And that's creates a lot of fear around it, right? And a lot of times there's also people that will like in families, mostly like I'm going to be talking about like the dynamic of the family, but that money was used to control a lot. There's a lot of times that a lot of parents use money to control, right? And as you get older, you can kind of recognize that, but it gets harder for you to, they're not supposed to really like control with money, because then that doesn't teach you how to actually be independent and spend your money wisely and do like a checks and balances with your money, right? So
Mhm.
that's why that doesn't work. And then also, if your parents experienced some job loss, or if there was like a divorce that happened, or maybe there's a lot of medical bills or something like that, and there's just a lot of the anxiety around money, like that creates this fear, like where it can be weaponized, or it can feel like it's unpredictable, like
Mhm.
you're not sure if you're going to have it or not. And as a kid and growing up, what does unpredictability do for a nervous system? It creates anxiety, right? Like if you feel like you just don't know what's coming next all the time.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different things that I kind of researched, that some tools that can maybe help if you're struggling with just the anxiety or the belief around money. Because, like I said before, you might be listening and thinking, well, I want to know, how do I save better? Or how do I even get a job? Maybe you don't even have a job. I mean, that's another thing. All of the systemic stuff is not stuff I'm going to be able to tell you in like 20 minutes. Okay. But I can tell you that there are some tools that can help if you're really feeling like these intrusive thoughts and you're ruminating about money. So, the first thing is to try and separate like the facts from anxiety. And I talk about this all the time, right? Like using your logical brain, focusing on the rational logical part of your brain is going to help you focus on the facts of a situation versus like the fear of it. So maybe you're thinking, okay, well, what are the facts? Well, the fact is, if you do have a job, you have a job. So you have a paycheck coming in. The fact is, do you have some money in the bank? Hopefully you do. Now, again, not teaching you about saving money here, even though that's a huge piece of education that I think everybody should be given, even though we're not in school, which is crazy. Like, why aren't we taught that in school? Like, it is so crazy to me. We're not taught anything about like financial security in high school.
It's funny you say that. I have a friend who homeschools her kids and they do different courses. And these kids, I'm telling you, these kids are way ahead of what other kids should be. These curriculum courses that these parents, this new like homeschooling, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's very interesting. You're almost like taking out a lot of, think about all we did as a kid in school. Like, that's just useless. And
100%.
they're replacing that with like a life skill. like class and course, and they're
Yeah,
learning these types of things. And
that's
even
amazing.
like educating them on 401ks and Roth IRAs and investment and like
Yes,
stuff
that's
like
what I
that.
mean.
It's crazy.
That's what I mean. Like being able to understand that and I mean, I'm started educating myself about that only like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something,
Yeah.
maybe like
Yeah.
5, 10 years ago and
You don't
started
think
saving.
about it. Yeah.
But like, no, because no one tells you it's supposed to be important unless you have parents that tell you about it. Like, why isn't it? If you go back to what I was saying before about how some people are just literally surviving and living paycheck to paycheck, they're not
Exactly.
worried about their Roth IRA. They're just worried about like where they're going to go grocery shopping for food the next day. So
Mhm.
it's really, really hard to know how to educate. And we all should be educated because even if you are someone that thinks that maybe, oh, well, I'm only making this amount, there are so many financial advisors I've talked to that there is a plan for everybody to
Mhm.
like start saving a little bit. So I don't know what that would look like, but that would be my one very, very good piece of advice would be to get a financial advisor. And a lot of financial advisors will have a consultation with you and won't charge you to like talk to them or see them. They'll only take like a really, really small percentage of what they invest for you.
Mhm.
So it's not like you're putting out a big amount of money to pay for somebody like that. But anyway, what I was saying before was being able to separate fact from fear and recognize, like, okay, what do I have in my account? Okay, if I have a little bit of money in my account, all this stuff, then you know, like, that's a fact. You have something. Okay. Whatever the voices in your head of like whatever intrusive thoughts are happening and the anxiety voices are going on, you have to remind yourself, okay, here's the facts. I do have some money. I have a job, right? Here's what I'm trying to do to get this type of job, right? Here's what I'm trying. Really just try and ground yourself and think of the facts of what you have. Again, that might not always work. It's just one thing that is really helpful. I know there was an episode we just did about thought detachment. This is sort of similar. Really thinking about like what is in front of you now and what the facts are. So try that. I think it's also a lot better to kind of try and change the way that you talk to yourself about money. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I'm so bad with money. Oh my God, I'm so bad with money. Oh my gosh, I don't have anything, all that stuff. What do you think's going to happen? Your brain's going to stay in this pattern, right? There's going to be a cognitive bias where you keep repeating the same thing over and over to yourself. Your brain's going to believe it. So maybe try saying, okay, I'm learning how to support myself better. I'm learning how to have a different relationship with money. Okay. Um, this part of my life is difficult. It's a difficult part of life, but I'm doing the best that I can. Right. I'm doing the best. And here's what I know I have right now that's really helping get me through every day. Like I said before, having heat right now is a privilege in the sub-zero temperatures, having a bed to sleep in, having some having some food and like even tea. And I hope that, you all listening are able to have your basic needs met. That's just every single human being should have that, and they don't. And that's a whole nother episode. But changing that self-talk, I think, is going to be really huge with that, right? Like I'm learning how to support myself better. I'm really working hard at this. And then also you really want to think about the stuff you're avoiding, okay? Because I know it can be like that's really where the anxiety comes in, right? We know the anxiety cycle includes avoidance, right? That's the hardest part to break. And you have anxiety, you avoid it. Maybe it gets a little bit better because you're avoiding, and then your anxiety comes back full force, and the cycle just keeps going and keeps going. So, tiny steps, okay? Some people have a really hard time even checking their bank account. Like it gives them severe
Mhm.
panic, like even just checking it. So, if you can, again, a financial advisor will really be able to help you understand how to organize your money so that you don't feel really scared of that and you know what's going in and coming out. Because the only way you're scared of looking at it is because you're not keeping track of what's going in and coming out.
Mhm.
And that's like a huge, huge piece of it. So, if you have a question about that, maybe the one small step you do is go on Google and you research some people you can talk to in your area. Then you send one email the next day, right? And then maybe you make a list of the other people you want to talk to, or maybe you think about certain jobs you're looking at, or, you know, really small steps are going to be really helpful. And honestly, you want to get into the habit of checking your bank account. It's just something you want to get into the habit of. They send you statements every month. I'm basically telling this advice to myself right now as I talk out loud, because you need to start getting into the habit of knowing what is coming out. There's so many hidden fees and things. There
Hmm.
might be accounts you don't even know exist, like Rocket Money. I think they were one of our sponsors, like back in the day. I actually just opened, or I have a Rocket Money account, but I haven't used it in a long time. And I'm excited to kind of go into that because they actually take a look at all of the memberships you have and any given like subscriptions and all this stuff. And literally they can tell you what they are if you might not even know you have them.
Hmm.
It's crazy. So like you can utilize stuff like that. But yeah, this is just a really nuanced topic. I think money, to be honest, listen, I know people, I guess. I know some people in my life that have like quote unquote a lot of money. They probably even still worry about money. Who knows? But basically everyone in my circle that I know, friends and stuff, are not like even close to millionaires or anything. Everyone I know worries about money, has some anxiety around it. And it's
No,
just
you're
really,
you're totally right though. Like sometimes rich people are the most like even a dollar they have to one up themselves because they're around more rich people and those people are more rich than they are. And I know so many people who are millionaires who are not satisfied. Like and they
yeah.
will never be satisfied. That's a whole other topic. If you're looking for being
Oh,
satisfied in money, it'll never happen because once you get it, you'll just like look at it and be like, okay, that didn't give me the happiness I thought it would, or it gave you like 10 minutes of happiness. And then you're just like, so if you keep trying to even like search your identity in that, like I have a really good
well,
friend, he does amazing in insurance and he had to learn that himself that, I mean, he makes just like dumb money, literally silly money and is so like not fulfilled because that won't bring you fulfillment. Like it never will. There's no dollar amount that he thought he would hit that would bring him fulfillment. He really thought that like once he made it, because like he grew up with
yeah.
not a lot of money, thought like, my life was hard, my childhood was hard. I'm gonna make something of myself. I'm gonna
Mhm.
reach this goal. And he thought the goal was, when I make X amount of money. And
Yeah.
he got there and was almost like more sad because
That's
it didn't.
really sad. That's really sad.
I
I
think a
mean,
lot of people do that too, though. Like they grew up poor. They're like, I'm gonna make it, do my life different. And their focus is on, I'm gonna make this career. I'm gonna not sleep. I'm gonna put my life into it, and I'm gonna chase this dollar amount. And then
yeah.
they get it, and they're like, dang.
I mean, there's also something to say about, people at some point when people have the money they have, like the rich, rich, rich people, it doesn't become about money anymore. It becomes about power,
Hmm.
right? Because the rich people have power, especially in the United States, because it's capitalist societies. Like, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
Right? Like someone, in different industries, whether you're in finance or like insurance, whatever. But I know finance is like ridiculous money that people make. Like you watch any of like those shows about, I don't know if anyone watched like Billions or Industry. It just, the season dropped, so good. They're talking about like millions and billions of dollars, these people.
Hmm.
Some of them make that, some of them are just like trading it and all this stuff. And it doesn't even mean anything anymore.
Hmm.
It's not even about like these. I say to myself as I'm watching the show, I'm like, this person's making like $10 million a year. Why are they working? Why are they? I mean, obviously they're working, but like they could probably retire in like 5 years. Why are they like, even one guy in the show I'm watching, he actually retired and he hated it. So he started working again in finance. I'm like,
Because it's not about the money. It's
I know.
it's crazy. I know a
I'm
couple
like,
people like this. I know this guy who was just surrounded, one of our family friends, he was just surrounded by people with that kind of money. He didn't really see normal day-to-day middle, like he just was not around it. And so it's funny, he like didn't prioritize his family, didn't do all these things, and then he gets diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and he's like, what have I done?
Oh my
And
gosh.
like his
Oh,
whole
that's
life
sad.
is just, he's like, I
Right.
was chasing money my whole life, and like
Mm-hmm.
I never stopped and smelled the roses, literally. Like I wasn't there for my kids. Now they're teenagers. What happened?
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Totally. Well, there's a thing about like the curse of the lottery. They've been like documentaries on it,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I don't really think we were even like meant to have a certain amount of money. Like I just don't think our brains. I don't really meet many, or I don't really know many people who they definitely have a lot enough money to retire, like they could just stop and that they stop. Like I don't know many people like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh,
Okay,
they
wait.
definitely had to have enough.
So here's what he said, and this is long, so I'm only going to read part of it, but he said, so Steve Jobs, he said, I reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In others' eyes, my life is an epitome of success. However, aside from work, I have little joy. In the end, wealth is only a fact of life that I'm accustomed to. At this moment, lying on the sick bed and recalling my whole life, I realized that all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in have paled and become meaningless in the face of impending death. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. This is so sad. You can employ someone to drive the car for you, make money for you, but you cannot have someone to bear the sickness for you. Material things lost can be found, but there is one thing that can never be found when it's lost: life. When a person goes into an operating room, he will realize that there is one book that he has yet to finish reading: the book of a healthy life. Whichever stage of life we are in right now, with time, we will face the day when the curtain comes down. This is like really sad. Treasure love for your family, life for your spouse, and love for your friends. Treat yourself well, cherish others. As we grow older and hence wiser, we slowly realize that wearing a $300 or $30 watch, they both tell the same time. Whether we carry a $300 or $30 wallet or handbag, the amount of money inside is the same. Whether we drive a $150,000 car or $30,000 car, the road and the distance is the same, and we get to the same destination. You will realize your true inner happiness does not come from the material things of this world. Whether you fly first class or economy, if the plane goes down, you go down with it. Therefore, I hope you realize when you have mates, buddies, and old friends, brothers and sisters, who you chat with, laugh with, talk with, have sing songs with, talk about the north, south, east, or west, or heaven and earth with, that's true happiness. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I never read that whole thing, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's like really
It's true.
emotional.
No, it's true, because a lot of times we get so distracted by this world and society and think that we see these people's lives and like, oh, when I have that, then I'll be happy, or this. And it's like, no, like your happiness is not found in any of that. There's probably
Yeah.
people that have nothing that are way happier than you.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just obviously that quote came from somewhere, like money can't buy happiness, right? But I think it definitely makes people's life easier. And anyway, I don't know what this turned into, but the anxiety about money is real because, I think that there's just never, I feel like some people just can never get ahead. And I think that's really where a lot of this lies within me and within a lot of the people that I know. They just feel like they can never get ahead. Forget like with taxes and everything. Let's not even go there. Anyway, okay. Well, I like talking about this. Hopefully, this was helpful in some extent. I know we sort of just processed it together, but it's a good discussion. And I think having open discussions about money is really important. So keep doing that.
I love this episode. I think that was so beautiful that you read that and got emotional and showed your true feelings. And it kind of just made me reflect and be like, okay, because sometimes I need those reminders. Like, it's not that I don't choose the present and I don't try to live knowing that, like, I'm so thankful even when I just go hang out with my mom or my husband and I'm doing nothing. Like, those are the times where it's like, oh, that is rich. Like, that's rich. I'm so grateful for that. Like, that is so rich. I'm so grateful. These little things that we bypass are
Yeah.
rich. Like, we are so much more rich than we realize. And
Yeah.
it's hard to like well, it's not hard, but you just sometimes have to read quotes like that and remind yourself, like, it's not the rich that you're like seeking and thinking that when I make it here, when I do this, when I do that, then I'll feel rich. It's like, no, you are so rich.
Yeah. Yeah. Relationships are really the most important thing in life, is what it sounds like relationships and like the realities of what's possible, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, girl. Okay. Well, we will see you next week. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode reminded you that you're not alone and healing is always possible.
If something we shared helped you, the best way to support the show is to leave a review or share this episode with a friend who needs it.
And make sure you're following us on Instagram at The Anxiety Chicks for more support between episodes.
We're just two chicks on our own healing journeys, cheering you on every step of the way.